All right, welcome back. So this is the last of the videos today. In this one, I am going to explain to you how exactly is it that it works. In the previous video, if you watched, I kind of went through the 6 things that it is that I am doing with the company. So I'm going to recap those. I help families with 401k rollovers, IRAs and Roth IRAs, life insurance, long-term care, annuities, and debt settlement. Of these 6, I'm going to focus on one in particular. That one is going to be life insurance, okay? So in order to do so, I'm going to explain the 3 different types, the 3 essential types of life insurance and how they work. So first one being term insurance. In order to do this, I'm going to use an example. Let's just say for this example, we have a 34-year-old woman. She wants to buy $500,000 worth of coverage or $500,000 policy. How much do you think someone would pay for something like that? So on a piece of paper, in your head, I don't care, just kind of think, how much do you think something like that would cost for this woman, 34 years old, $500,000 policy? If you're guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of $80, $90, $100, I've even heard people go as high as $150, you'd be in kind of the idea of what most people think. For the purposes of this example, let's just say that this woman's name is Judy, and let's just say Judy's paying somewhere between $20 and $40 a month. We're going to cut it right in the middle. We're going to say $30. So for this $30 a month, what exactly is Judy going to get? What happens? We're going to look at 2 sides of a coin. What happens if Judy passes away within the 30 years of the policy? So between the ages of 34 and 64, what happens? This is what happens. If Judy passes away within the 30-year term of the policy, her family would get whatever the face value of the policy is. So in your head, if you guess that she should receive that $500,000, or her family or the beneficiary should receive that $500,000, you'd be absolutely correct. Now on the reverse side of that coin, what happens if she doesn't pass away? What happens if Judy's still living at the end of the policy? What happens if she lives to be older than 64? The unfortunate downside is that Judy loses everything as far as the premiums that she's paid into the policy. She did have coverage over the term of the policy, but once the policy expires, she is no longer covered. So that's the beautiful thing with term coverage, is that on one hand, it's usually fairly expensive. In this case, Judy's paying $30 a month. For most of us, $30 a month is reasonable. $30 for someone in my age range, I'm 28, could potentially be happy hour one night a week. Could potentially be your pregame before you go out for an evening. So that's usually something that people can budget for. On the reverse side, though, that policy does expire. So as I said in the first video, this is a business opportunity that I kind of want to expose you to. So I'm going to explain you to the business opportunity side of this as well. So in this situation, Judy is paying $30 a month. The insurance company will then pay us a year in advance. So $30 times 12 is going to be $360. Not bad. Now, the insurance company will then pay us a percentage of that annual premium, or in that case, that $360. So let's just say for the purposes of this example, the provider that we chose for Judy is offering us 125% of that annual premium. 125% of $360 is going to be $450. Now, our agents are then going to be paid based on their contract level. We have contract levels that range anywhere from 30% up to 152%. If you have any questions about the 152%, which I'm guessing that you would, feel free to message me, comment, give me a phone call. I would love to explain that to you. I will include a video here later that will give you a very in-depth kind of explanation of the compensation system within our company. So let's just say we'll go back to the example that the agent that helped Judy select this term policy is at a 50% contract level. So 50% of that $450 that the insurance company is paying out to the PHP agency would be $225. Not bad. Now I want you to think to yourself, how long did that take for me to explain to you? You can kind of cheat a little bit because in this video there's a little timer at the bottom. How far into this video are we? That's about how long it takes to explain term life insurance to somebody. Now, for some of you, I want you to kind of think at this a little bit of a different way. How long would it take for you to make $225 at your job? It's going to be different for everybody. For some of you, it's going to be maybe a day, maybe a half a day. Others of you, it might be a week. Some people, it might be 2 weeks on the job. So that's kind of where the opportunity lies here. As you can see, there's good money to be made here. And in this crusade, you are helping people, which is a beautiful thing, but you can make some good money here. That's kind of why I got involved. I was interested. I said, hey, I saw the business opportunity side of it. So we're going to fast forward now. We're going to talk about a second type of insurance. It's going to be called ROP. Now, ROP is traditionally going to be a little bit more expensive than term. So let's just say the same woman, Judy, is still 34 years old. She's still looking for that $500,000 worth of coverage, or that $500,000 policy. Now, in this situation, Judy's going to be paying a little bit more. Let's just say she's paying double, maybe even triple what she would have in that term policy. So in the exact same situation, Judy might be paying, let's just say, $100 a month instead of that $30. Now I'm going to look at the same questions I asked you earlier. What happens if Judy dies between the ages of 34 and 64 in this policy? If you guess that Judy's family or the beneficiary will receive that $500,000, once again, you'd be absolutely correct. Give yourself a pat on the back. Well done. Beautiful thing is the family will be grieving, and both of these examples so far, we've unfortunately killed off Judy. I don't want you to kill off Judy. She's probably a beautiful woman, has a family, kids, so let's not kill her off if we don't have to. But in the situation that something unfortunate does happen and Judy passes away, her family will receive that $500,000 or the face value of the policy. Now let's look at the reverse side of the coin. As I asked you earlier, what happens to all of those premiums that Judy is paying into the policy if she doesn't die between the ages of 34 and 64? Let's say that she outlives the term of the policy. What happens then? This is where it gets exciting, people. Judy would actually get all of her premiums back. ROP stands for return of premium. So in this situation, Judy would get all of the money that she's paid into this policy back. This is where it gets exciting for me, is because these are things that people don't know, is that there are policies out there like this where you can get your money back. So as I did with the first time, I'm going to explain the business opportunity side of this, right? So let's just say in this situation that Judy's paying $100 a month. Once again, the insurance company is going to pay us a year in advance, so 100 times 12 is going to be $1,200. Now, let's just say that the provider or carrier that we choose for Judy in this situation is offering 135% of that annual premium, right? So 135% of that $1,200 is going to grow to $1,620. We're in a good situation. Like I said, our agents are paid based on a contract level. So let's just say that the agent that helped Judy out with this, securing this policy for her, is at a 50% contract level. So 50% of that $1,620 is going to be $810. That's not bad. $810 could be a major game changer for a lot of people out there. I want you to think about how long it would take for you to make $810 at your job. Exactly. And I once heard somebody say, I thought this was very interesting. They mentioned to me that an extra $500 a month could potentially change the car you're driving. It could be a car note. It could put you in a little bit nicer of a car. An extra $1,000 a month could change your zip code. That's a game changer for a lot of people. Now, if that kind of didn't make sense, the situation in Judy and this return of premium, I'm going to give you another kind of take on it, okay? So let's just say that whomever you are watching this video, you have a car, and don't tell me if you don't want to. You don't have to comment under the video. I don't want to know. If you have a car, and we're going to assume that you have auto insurance on this car, okay? So whoever your provider is, your carrier, let's say it's Nationwide, Allstate, Geico. For the purposes of this one, I'm going to use Geico. So let's say that I call you up and I say, hey, what's going on? I'm Brian Thatch. I'm your agent over at Geico. How are you? The reason that I'm calling you today is that we have a new policy that I would like to expose you to. The way this policy works is that if you get in an accident between now and 5 years from now, any accident will cover you. You call us up, you let us know, we'll get you taken care of. On the reverse side, let's say that between now and 5 years from now, you don't get in an accident and you have a clean driving record. What we're going to do is we're going to give you all your premiums back. Would you be interested in that policy? I'm willing to take my odds to Vegas that 100% of the people watching this video right now would say, hey, yeah, go ahead and sign me up for that. I'm interested. That's what return of premium is. That's what ROP is. Unfortunately, there is no car insurance where you can get a return of your premiums, but there is a life insurance where you can get your premiums back. So far, sticking with that analogy of cars, the first policy, that term insurance, would be like a four-door Toyota Corolla. If you drive a Toyota Corolla, don't take this personally, but not the nicest thing driving down the street. It definitely will get you from point A to point B, but there's definitely better options, right? The second one, ROP, would be a little bit more like a Lexus. A little bit smoother, a little bit sleeker. You get on the inside, you might have some leather seats, you might have a little bit of wood grain. might have a little something else going on there, right? So a little bit nicer. The third type of life insurance that I'm going to explain to you would be like the Ferrari of life insurance. I don't know about you, but if you drop a Ferrari out in front of my house right now, I'm taking it. I don't know how to drive a stick. I'm figuring it out. I'm pulling up YouTube videos. I'm borrowing somebody's car that's got a stick. We're getting it figured out. I'm in the Ferrari by this weekend, right? Why not? Somebody just dropped it off. I'm taking it, right? So the third, this Ferrari of life insurance is going to be called permanent insurance, right? So I'm going to explain to you how permanent insurance works. If you look behind me on the board here, you'll see that there's three main benefits to permanent insurance. The first one being the death benefit. Death benefit in a permanent insurance policy goes up to the age of 121. So essentially it never runs out. I don't know anybody personally that's over 121 years old. If you do, I would love to know about Nana. I'm sure she's a wonderful woman. I hope she's doing well in her age. But I don't personally know anybody that's 121. That's why we call it permanent. So that's going to be the death benefit. The second benefit is going to be living benefit. There's a living benefit to permanent insurance. So let's just say that you become terminally ill, critically ill, chronically ill over the term of having this policy. You can actually draw money from the policy while you're still living. You can borrow money from the insurance policy while you're still living. That's the living benefit. This is becoming something that's a game changer for a lot of people because the life expectancy of the average human is becoming older and older. People are living longer and longer. I have a grandmother that's a little bit over 83 now. I don't see her dying anytime soon. She's in great health. People are living longer and longer, but a lot of the time, unless they have some sort of situation set up where they have the money coming in, it gets a little tight to be able to afford to take care of these people as they get older and older. So it's becoming a great kind of advantage of these policies that there is a living benefit to them. The third one is that these, over the course of several years of having the policy, will accrue what's called a cash value portion of it. Now, this is something beautiful. The way this works is, if you look kind of behind me here, I have this little bitty kind of picture, and essentially what it's showing you is that, let's say in this policy, Judy's still 34 years old, still looking for $500,000 worth of coverage with that $500,000 policy. Now in this one, like I said, it's the Ferrari of life insurance, so she's gonna pay a little bit more for it. So let's just say Judy's paying $250 a month for it, right? So a portion of the money would indeed go into the $500,000 life insurance, right? So a portion of the money goes into that. The rest of the money will go into a cash value kind of pot where you're starting to build money, and over time, it really turns into something beautiful based on a concept called compound interest. If you're not familiar with how compound interest works, I urge you to Google compound interest. You're likely to come back with the best thing that was ever invented. The way compound interest works is that your money is always growing. That's going to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, an extra year a day on leap year. Your money is always growing. It's compounding, it's becoming more and more and more and more. And over the term of having these policies, you can end up with a nice lump sum of money in the cash value portion that is kind of benefits from what's called tax advantages, where you're actually able to pull this money out tax free. That's the beauty of these insurance policies, and that's what people don't realize, is that you can use these as a retirement. You can use these, if not as your entire retirement, at least to supplement a retirement for yourself. So that when you hit the age of 65, you're not still at Walmart greeting people or checking people out and bagging people out at Costco, right? So that's why this is the Ferrari of life insurance policies. Now, once again, I'm going to explain the business opportunity portion of this to you. So like I said, Judy, let's just say in this situation, is spending $250 a month. Insurance company pays us a year in advance. $250 times 12 is going to be $3,000. Now, once again, let's just say that the insurance company is paying us a percentage of the annual premium, and the provider that we chose for Judy is offering us 115% of the annual premium. I know a company in particular that's currently offering us a bit more, kind of looking closer to the direction of 120%, but let's just say for this example, we're getting 115%. 115% of $3,000 is $3,450. Let's just say you're still that same agent helping Judy with this permanent policy, and you're at that 50% contract level. 50% of $3,450 is $1,725. Look at the bottom of the video right now. How long has it taken me to explain these concepts to you? Obviously, these policies take a little bit longer to put together. There's going to be some paperwork, but we can say you could roughly help a client establish a permanent policy for themselves in a matter of an hour, maybe 2 hours. How long would it take most of you to make $1,725? You can do this on a part-time basis. Now I want you to take a look at the 3 cars that I've kind of introduced to you: the Toyota Corolla, the Lexus, and the Ferrari. For yourself, which one would work out best? Which one are you interested in? Do you have any questions? If you do, feel free to comment, message me, call me. I want to explain these concepts in a little bit more detail. I can only go so deep into them because people only have the attention span for so long. After a while, I'm going to lose a lot of you. If you look down and you see that this is a 25-minute video, a lot of you are going to not watch the video. But how long has it taken me to explain these to you? And I kind of want you to think to yourself, is this something that you could figure out for yourself as well? Is this something that you could explain to people? Do you know somebody that would be interested in getting involved with this? I don't see a reason why anybody couldn't figure this out. I caught on very quickly. I believe in a lot of you that you could as well. That's why I'm reaching out to you. So go ahead and take that knowledge with you. I want to thank you for sitting down and watching these videos. Before I leave, I want to tell you, I want to answer one frequently asked question. I will have a whole video of frequently asked questions, but one of the questions that a lot of people will ask is, why aren't a lot of people doing this then? If this is so easy, why are more people getting involved with this? Why are more people interested? The answer that I like to kind of use is, a lot of people don't think life insurance is cool. It's not sexy. Who wants to sell life insurance, right? I want you to look at the numbers that I just gave you right here. This is pretty cool to me. I'm enjoying this. I like this. I like the idea of making these type of figures, explaining something and securing and helping people eliminate those risks or reduce those risks for their families. You can do this as well. Thank you very much. You have a great day.